A Greyhound is vodka with grapefruit juice. And when I first started learning about different alcohols and I really got into Aperol and Campari, I started mixing passion fruit with those. So Campari and Aperol are Amaros, they're digestives, they are bitter and sweet, and they're used in so many different cocktails around the world. But what I started doing is I started putting them with fresh passion fruit. So when I originally made this cocktail, it was with 1 ounce of Aperol and 1 ounce of Campari. And because Campari was a little bit bitter, it was a nice little balance of the two. And then when I started going on, I learned more. I started doing it with just Aperol, and then I started doing it with just Cappelletti. Cappelletti is similar to Aperol, so it's made with all different kinds of herbs and citrus peels, and it's a wine-based Amaro, and it works really great with this. And the reason why I came up with the name, the Italian Greyhound is the name of this cocktail. It's in my first book, Eat Your Drink. It's a very easy cocktail. It's a non-muddled cocktail as well. But it's basically when you combine the Aperol with that passion fruit, it almost tastes like grapefruit. And so being a Greyhound being a grapefruit drink, and then this Aperol being an Italian aperitif, I call it the Italian Greyhound. So I want to show you how easy it is to make. We're going to use fresh passion fruit here. You could use a passion fruit concentrate if you wanted to. There's one by Perfect Puree that I love that's great because it's unsweetened. It's super concentrated, so if you're going to use that, you would use a ½ ounce as opposed to 1 ounce of fresh passion fruit. So this is called the Frederick passion fruit. It's one of my favorite passion fruits. It has that really great balance of kind of half sour, half sweet, and it's a very easy fruit to grow. It's one of the first fruit I've ever grown in my life. It's an invasive vine. It doesn't need a lot of water, and it can take off very quickly, and you can be producing fruit very quickly. And if you haven't seen the flower is one of the most outstanding things you've ever seen. So we're going to cut this in half, and I only need about 1 ounce, so it really depends on how plump these passion fruit are, but we're going to cut that in half, and we want to scoop out to about 1 ounce. So as you can see, sometimes a half almost gets me there, right? It gets me probably 3/4 of the way. And then depending on how many is there, we might have to cut another one. This one doesn't have as much. Yeah, so we're going to go one more, but we'll have another half here. Well, basically what we're doing, just get to that 1 ounce, okay? And yes, we're using all the pulp and the seeds as well. So we'll put that 1 ounce in there. And then we're going to do 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice. So because the Aperol and the Cappelletti and those things already have sugar added in it, I'm going to come down on this agave part to probably about a ½ ounce. Now, you still could go down to 1/4 ounce if it's too sweet, but it's really up to your taste. But this is what I find to be kind of a general sense of what people would like, especially if someone's okay with a little bit bitter and a little bit of sweet. So we're going to do a ½ ounce of agave syrup. This is a 1-to-1 ratio of agave nectar to water. We have a video of how to make that on here. So we're going to do a ½ ounce of that. And then we're going to do 2 ounces of the Cappelletti. So you can also make a variation of this. Maybe you do 1 ounce of gin or 1 ounce of vodka to 1 ounce of the Cappelletti or the Aperol. But we're going to do 2 ounces of this. This is the perfect kind of drink because it's lower in alcohol to serve kind of as the first drink. It's a drink that you could probably have out by the pool. This is a drink that I typically serve before a ceremony at a wedding because it's not too strong, it's refreshing, it makes you feel good, there's passion fruit in it, and it just turns out to be like a really good drink that's not going to get anybody too drunk before the ceremony, especially the bride and groom. Okay, so now we're going to shake that up, and we are going to use my new favorite ice, which is the nugget ice. So I'm going to scoop that in there. What I love about the nugget ice is, one, you get to eat the ice afterwards, which absorbs all the flavors, but it's the closest you're going to get, in my opinion, to a drink that kind of helps you plate this as you would food. There's different things that you can layer on it. There's flavors that you can get through it. There's a lot that you can do with it. But what I like to do, if you can with the nugget ice, just get that to come up a little higher than normal. And then we're just going to shake this with regular ice. So about 3 or 4 cubes in there. And then we're not going to double strain it. I mean, we're not going to use some kind of tea strainer and strain through it. It's like, I actually want the seeds of the passion fruit to get in there, because if you can, I love how the black seeds look against the orange color. So you'll see that. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. And we'll strain that over there. Look at that color. See how the seeds are coming out? It's perfect. So don't worry about those seeds coming out like that. And also what I like to do, if you can get a way to kind of push some of those seeds down, then that black, see? The black will show up. See how that's perfect? How the black will, and then what's great is because of the nugget ice, they'll just kind of stay stationary there. So that's another wonderful way of the nugget ice working to kind of capture different things in there. We can also add a little bit more ice on top. And then I'm going to, because this is sweet, I'm going to add a savory note to this. I'm going to use some hot peppers from Calabria. Calabria is a southern region of Italy, and they have these peppers that they make that are absolutely, that they grow there and that they kind of marinate in this nice hot sauce. So I also love the vibrancy of that color. And because this tastes like grapefruit when you mix the passion fruit with that, we're going to use a dehydrated grapefruit. This happens to be a dehydrated grapefruit wedge or slice that has been smoked as well from one of my favorite farms out here. So we're going to put that in there. And there you go. You've got the Italian Greyhound. It's Cappelletti or Aperol, lime juice, agave, fresh passion fruit with peppers from Calabria, and a grapefruit slice dehydrated. This was one of my first cocktails I ever made, and it's so refreshing, and it uses passion fruit in such a different way. Most people put passion fruit in margaritas and things like that, but the combination of this is absolutely ideal, and it's a really perfect drink for that summertime, for that outside, before something that's not too strong. There you go. And like I said, if you want to make variations of it, if you want to make it less sweet, if you want to add vodka or gin and cut back on the Aperol, you're happy to do that. So enjoy, cheers, and have fun with it.